but we're still sitting in the glow. Phones charged, lights on, pretending we don't know. But the forest is silent, the river's running low, and the flame on our plates is the strongest fire we throw. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. 7 boundaries broken, the earth pushed past the line. Climate, land, species, fresh water, chemicals, nutrients, oceans in decline. Not danger, disaster in real time. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Metafoodians rise, this is your power. And here in India, one truth stands the same. Milk is not just milk, dairy feeds the flame. Cows and methane, fields and forests turn to grain. Politics, culture, carbon, all wired to the same chain. Every cup of curd is heat in the air, every block of butter is a forest repair. It's not a small habit, it's a planetary affair. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is our hour. Energy fixes half the hurt, Dr. Rao made that clear. But food fixes the other half, the half that's burning here. Change the plate, change the land, change the future's atmosphere. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Metafoodians unite, this is your choir. Every millet, every fruit, every sapseed, every bean is water on the wildfire of a world we've never seen. Every oil-free bite is a river turning clean. This is not perfection, it's direction. Not pressure, but protection. A week of choices can cool a generation. A company's courage can ignite a nation. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. Metafoodians unite, Metafoodians ignite, sharing love in the metazone, light in the path to a cooler home. Put out the fire, ooh, put out the fire. Together we rise, together we inspire.
Welcome to the Planet B podcast, where truth, transformation, and faith converge. Join us as we flip the script on ecological despair, guided by Dr. Sailesh Rao's vision for a compassionate, rewilded vegan world. Let's begin the journey to the greatest transformation in human history.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of the Planet B podcast, the self-transformation. Dr. Rao, thanks for being back once again.
Well, thank you for hosting this.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So please, if you don't mind, let's start with the opening quote.
Yeah, the opening quote is by the former president or director of the World Health Organization, Dr. Margaret Chan. And she said, "A healthy planet and healthy people are two sides of the same coin." Basically, self-healing and planetary healing are tied together. So if you want a healthy planet, if that's our objective, then we need to make sure that all human beings are healthy as well. You can't have, all these chronic diseases rampant if you want a healthy planet. So which means self-transformation and planetary transformation, system transformation are all tied together. What is health? Health just means that you are completely in alignment with nature, both not only physically whole, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthy. And I consider this to be like the oxygen mask rule. If you want to help other species, you have to first become healthy yourself. So you have to put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others.
Wow. So that goes into my first question, or really it's a statement that comes from your book. And what you say is sick people are not going to care about a sick planet. And conversely, a sick planet creates more sick people.
Correct. Yeah. It's a cycle, no? When we allow sickness and when we promote sickness in the system, which, as we discussed earlier, the system promotes diseases. It
Right.
deliberately, addicts people into compulsive behaviors. That's not good for them. When you do that, you create a sick planet and vice versa. So a sick planet creates sicker people. So you create this feedback loop that's going in the wrong direction of more and more sickness. So we have to now reverse that and create an upward spiral of healthy people and a healthier planet. And it starts with healthy people. So personally, you have to become healthier. So I've started working on myself first. You can't be working on healing the planet if you're not healthy. So we each have to become responsible for our own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. So you have to take responsibility for that and say, okay, I am going to become healthy. And only then will I be able to help others become healthy. So I started off by looking at, okay, what are the risky behaviors that have been encouraged in the system? And fortunately, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine had already listed these 8 risky behaviors
Right.
that are responsible for 15 chronic diseases and 90% of the healthcare costs. And these 8 risky behaviors are the poor diet, physical inactivity, that's basically lack of exercise. And then third is smoking. So they are listed in order of importance. And Dr. McDougall told me that poor diet is responsible for at least half of the costs. If you assign responsibility to each individual factor, he would put more than half the cost coming from poor diet. Because the standard American diet is being promoted everywhere in the world. And the standard American diet, the SAD diet, is a diet that promotes sickness in people. And Americans are being exploited, right, by the system. And the system is saying, okay, if we want to grow, everybody needs to be like America. Every country needs to be like America. So the standard American diet is being promoted everywhere. That's how you grow this economy, the sickness economy. So first is to get to a healthy diet. Then physical inactivity is the second reason for these 15 chronic diseases, lack of exercise. Third is smoking. Fourth is lack of health screening. So people don't go to the doctor, Then fifth is poor stress management. It's because people are anxious all the time and their anxiety is promoted. It's actually stoked through social media also. You create more and more anxiety, tell you you're not good enough. It's done systematically. So it's poor stress management is the fifth risky behavior. And the sixth is insufficient sleep. People don't sleep well. And that's causing these chronic diseases. Then seventh is poor standard of care. Even when you're sick and you go to a doctor, the doctor is not treating you for the right diseases. You're giving people all these drugs, and these drugs cause all kinds of side effects. It becomes like a toxic mess. So that poor standard of care is the seventh risky behavior.
All right.
That's responsible for 90% of the healthcare costs. And the last is excessive alcohol and drug consumption. That's the eighth risky behavior.
Yeah.
So when the American College of Lifestyle Medicine listed these 8 risky behaviors, why don't we just do the exact opposite,
Right.
right? And it turned out that it's similar to the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine, what you get when you do the exact opposite.
Where are those 6 pillars from?
The American College of Lifestyle Medicine has the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. First
Okay.
is nutrition. So everyone should get proper nutrition. Second is physical activity. The third is stress management. So knowing how to deal with stress. Fourth is restorative sleep. And then fifth is social connection, what they call social connection, which is having a good community support. And sixth is avoidance of risky substances.
All right.
So these are the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. And lifestyle medicine doctors are trained to help their patients, manage these 6 pillars. But it turns out that if you take the 8 risky behaviors and do the exact opposite, you get not only the 6 pillars, you get 2 additional pillars. You get from poor diet to healthy diet. So that's the nutrition pillar.
So let's go through these one by one, and you can kind of explain what they look like on planet B. So if you don't mind, let's begin with that number one. So number one
Right.
is going away from poor diet to what you call the food healer's diet.
Correct. Yeah. So I call it the food healer's diet because it's a whole food, plant-based meals that are nutritionally balanced. So in food healers, we talk about making sure that every meal has an adequate amount of greens, vegetables, and beans, and legumes, and grains, and spices. So this way you cover all the nutritional needs. It should be a complete meal, having like a rainbow in each meal.
When something tastes good, I mean, people think it's maybe from oil or, people are addicted to cheese and animal meat, but what really makes us feel satiated when we're eating these, delicious whole food plant-based meals?
Yeah, see, naturally, and our body seeks out things with salt, or things with oil or fat, because these are rare, in
Mm,
nature, right? So seeks it out and says, "Oh, wow, let me just store that because I may need it,"
right.
right? So think about eating nuts in nature. Like if you have to eat a walnut, you have to first break the shell
Yeah,
and then eat the inside. So how many walnuts could you possibly eat?
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, right? So this
Yeah.
is why, when we see an abundance of that, our body craves it. And
Mm,
unfortunately, the corporations are using that natural phenomenon that makes our body seek out those things. The corporations are using that to sell more of their products because that's the system we have created. It's not their fault, okay? We created a system saying that you have to keep growing.
right.
And to keep growing, they're going to want more and more people to consume their products.
Yeah.
So which means they'll figure out how to make you buy it, make you consume it. So loading up foods with oil and salt and sugar makes us consume more of it.
Yeah.
Because even sugar, our body seeks it out because, ripe fruit is rare. When the fruit
Yeah.
is ripe, you better eat it, right? So in nature. So this is
Yeah.
why, we have that in our systems. We get satiated from a taste perspective when we exercise every part of our tongue.
Mm,
So you have to have a combination of sweet, sour, astringent, all of the tastes, like even a little bit of bitter. So we normally seek out a little bit of bitter vegetables and eat them, bitter gourd
mm,
and eat them. And the idea there is that you have to have that variety of tastes in order to get the balanced nutrition in your body. But we are satiated in our stomach when we fill our stomach with fiber mostly. you look at how much food you can eat in terms of volume. So our stomach says it's full when it's full in volume,
Hmm.
right? Now, if you eat oil, fatty substances, a lot of that, then when you fill your stomach, you would have eaten a whole lot more calories than you really will be using. And that excess calories in the form of fat gets stored. So when you eat food without fiber, fiber has no calories whatsoever. It's basically food for your bacteria in your stomach.
Hmm.
Okay. So it keeps your gut microbiome healthy, which is why you have to eat fiber. And since fiber has no calories, it has volume and it fills up your stomach without increasing the total amount of calories you're eating.
Right.
This is why when you eat vegetables and fruits, you don't put on weight. Like you put on weight with fat. But if you eat a lot of sugar, that sugar has a lot of calories, so that then all the fat can be stored.
Hmm.
So this is why when we eat processed foods with a lot of sugar, you put on weight. And you think it's the sugar that's caused the weight, but it's not the sugar. It's only the fat that you store.
All right. And that's why it's important when we even transition to a fully vegan diet that we're focused on the whole food, plant-based
Correct.
foods.
Correct. Yeah. Whole foods, plant-based, and lots of vegetables and greens and fruits so that you fill up your stomach with fiber.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So let's go on to number two. So number two is moving away from physical inactivity and moving towards regular exercise or yoga asanas.
Right, yeah. So it turns out that we have slow movements. That's when we exercise our body better.
Hmm.
Okay. It doesn't have to be really rapid movements. So slow movements, like yogasana is go through these different poses. So I normally do a sun salutation every morning, which is 10 different poses that exercise. They basically compress and expand every part of your body. So
Good way to
you're
start.
exercising. You're basically exercising all your joints and all your
Hmm.
muscles. Right?
Yeah.
And then I do 10 sets of those poses. And then I hold one pose for 6 minutes, which is the plank pose.
Hmm.
Okay. And that builds the core muscles in my body. So I noticed that it not only builds the core strength physically, it also builds the core strength mentally, emotionally, and spiritually,
Hmm.
right? Because holding a position for 6 minutes, it's mental torture, okay? So
Especially
which
the
means
last 2 minutes, right? The last 2 minutes.
right, because your mind is saying, why do you have to keep doing this? And I said, no, you do it because I am your boss, not the other way around.
Yeah, because the funny thing is though, if you let that mind be your boss, then the sugar and the nuts and all that stuff,
Right,
you're eating that too.
correct, yeah.
Oh
So
dear.
it's good exercise, when you hold a same pose for a long time. It's good mental exercise as well to tell your mind that you are the servant of the heart, not the other way
Mhm.
around.
That's beautiful.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right? So it builds that mental strength and also it builds the emotional core
Yeah,
because you're able to maintain equanimity going through that every day.
that's
Right?
wonderful. Yeah.
So that's the second thing. Physical activity has to be done on a regular basis. So I spend 12 minutes doing that every day. So 6 minutes for my 10 sets of sun salutations and 6 minutes for the plank pose.
That's wonderful because it's not long. You get it done at the beginning of your day so you can kind of check it off and then I think it puts you in a good mind state for the rest of your day as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. So let's move on to number three. So number three is let's not smoke, moving away
Right.
from smoking and moving to conscious breathing in pranayama.
Yeah. Pranayama is slow breathing. Again, it turns out that when you do things slowly, you're basically raising the awareness and you're being present in your body, right? So when I do the yoga, I take slow breaths for every pose. So if it's a stretching pose, I take an inward breath. If it's a compression pose, I take an outward breath. Right? So this way, the 10 poses are accompanied by slow breathing,
Mm.
right? And pranayama, it turns out this slow breathing, so conscious breathing, is a way to also raise your energy levels
Mm.
in your body. Because you'll notice when you breathe slowly like that, that normally you take only shallow breaths. And conscious breathing brings you into the present, slows down everything around you.
Mm.
So I suggest that's the opposite of smoking. And it is not there in the lifestyle pillars, the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine, right? So that's the one addition that comes in when you take
Yeah, which
this,
is a
do
wonderful.
the opposite. Now, from the fourth one, which is lack of health screening, I say it is regular health routines is the opposite of that. Eat right, do the exercise on a regular basis. So I do 12 minutes a day, every day. Okay, do the conscious breathing on a regular basis. I also do meditation on a regular basis. So this way, when you have these regular habits, that's like a health check on a daily basis. How are you feeling?
Right.
Okay. And you'll observe in anything in your body that is not up to par. And if you need to go get it tested, you can do that. And I also do annual checkups, right? When I come to India, I do my
Mhm.
annual checkups. So this way, you have regular health routines,
It's
which is
interesting
the
too, Dr. Rao, because when you do those regular health routines, just myself, for example, I may wake up a little grumpy or kind of groggy, but then if you just get into the habit of having something that you do in the morning to wake your body up,
Mhm.
to to get your mind more in control and things like that, then it's awesome how it could just trigger a very happy feeling, and it brings about such a better day afterward.
Absolutely. It's like, brushing your teeth. I mean,
Right.
imagine
Yeah.
the first, how did they convince us to, everybody has to brush their teeth in the morning, right?
Yeah.
It's a regular routine we do. It's
Yeah.
similar to that. You think your mind is not more important than your teeth.
Yeah. So true.
So we
Uh,
have to do these regular routines to basically brush our mind and to tone our
mhm.
body. It's
Yep.
not just your teeth.
Yep.
So you need to do more than your teeth.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that long, right? So I'm saying it's like 12 minutes for me. I'm sure, other people have come up with shorter routines. Whatever
Mm,
routines they are, stick to them so that you
yeah.
do them on a regular basis. And
Yeah.
each one of us will find our own niche. That's what is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So
And that
that's
that
the
goes
fourth
right in,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
that goes right into number five, because it's when we do those routines, we move away from poor stress management and then to meditation and awareness in what you call
right. Yeah.
dhyana. Is that how you pronounce it? Dhyana?
Dhyana.
Dhyana.
Yeah, dhyana. Yeah. So it's basically it is meditation on a regular basis, being aware of yourself, aware of
Mm,
your role, aware of what you have to do during the day.
that's
Okay,
wonderful.
and come into a positive frame of mind. So you're always looking ahead for the well-being of all life. So without a positive frame of mind, you cannot execute.
So true. Yeah.
Right. So that's that. Number 5 is meditation and awareness. It's the opposite of poor stress management.
Can you talk a little bit more about that positive mindset? It's so important because if you do those first four, it builds up into that positive
Correct.
mindset for the
Yeah.
day. And why is that so important for us?
Well, whatever you focus on, however you project your presence in the world, gets amplified.
Right.
Okay. So if you have a negative frame of mind, you're seeing the negative side of things because there is always negative and positive around you.
All right.
So if you just focus on the negative things that are going on, you amplify that in the universe.
All right.
Because people are hearing you say these negative things and they're repeating that. That's the amplification that happens. Okay. So you become a source of negative energy that spreads out through the world. So I'd rather be a source of positive energy that spreads throughout the world. I'm looking at the negative side of what's going on. I'm looking at the positive side of what's going on. And I choose to promote the positive side of what's going on, right? I choose to promote the positive perception of things. Okay? Because then you're highlighting the good things that are going on, and then others will also highlight that, and that gets amplified.
All right.
So this is why it's so important, if you want a healthy planet, to show the positive side of all things that are going on around you.
Yeah.
But then you amplify the positive side of it. I mean, think about it. Our planet is amazing. Okay?
It is.
Despite everything we have done, despite all the chemical pollution we put into the environment, all of that stuff, there is still oxygen. There is still photosynthesis working. You still have access to water everywhere, right? And so life can still thrive. So why don't we take that and start cleaning up so that it's
Right.
easier and easier for life to thrive, so instead of highlighting the negative. So that's why I always try to show the positive side of things.
Yeah, and I noticed,
Okay.
Dr. Rao, when you talk to even through these podcasts, when we communicate to be positive, to have hope, because that
Yeah.
positivity, as you said, it manifests out into the world, and then they become more interested in what you're saying as well.
Yeah, people want to join a group that's fun, and joyful, who
Yeah.
are actually enjoying life, right? So,
Yep.
and that's what we need to become, right? A community that's having fun, constantly, helping life. And then the sixth one is inadequate sleep, right? And I say that if you do the first five, you will sleep soundly.
It's so true.
Automatically, you improve your sleep cycles when you do that. Of course, there are pathologies that people have to address, but just by doing these first five things, you'll sleep soundly.
Right.
Okay. Then seventh is poor standard of care. And the opposite of that, to me, is a sense of purpose.
Right.
Right. So if you have a sense of purpose, you have this mental stability because you know what you have to accomplish.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're motivated. So you have that life energy that's coming out and manifesting through you. And then the last one, excessive alcohol and drug consumption.
Mm.
And the opposite of that is contact with nature.
Right.
Yeah, because excessive alcohol consumption comes from a disconnection with nature. Disconnection not only with nature outside, but nature within you.
Yep.
Right? And so when you're comfortable in your own skin, you really don't need external stimulants
Yeah. So true.
to feel better. That's what I mean by contact with nature. It's contact with your own nature, with nature around you, and being aware of that. And you will feel it when you go to a forest. You'll literally feel like you won't need alcohol or drugs or anything, but then there is no need for you to get high.
Dr. Rao, in chapter 22, you mention at the end that an altruistic sense of purpose towards an objective much larger than ourselves is foundational to human well-being on planet B. So what
Correct.
exactly does that mean?
When you're serving others, as a species, if you're serving other species, or as an individual, you're serving others, you're a lot happier than trying to acquire for yourself. So you need to create a system in which serving others is normalized. And that's this kind of system transformation that we're working on in Planet B. So you have to create a system in which it's normal for you to serve others, right? And because that altruistic motivation makes every one of us a lot happier. This I've found through personal experience. I have no doubt about that. But facilitating that, making it easy for people to do that, it has to come from within each one of us.
Beautiful.
We need to be able to give away our gifts. I think a famous person once said, I don't remember who said it, said, the greatest tragedy is how many humans die with their song still in them.
What's wonderful, Dr. Rao, is that on Planet B, the systematic change, it puts at the fourfold the ability for humans to utilize those gifts given by the divine to create this beautiful planet.
Absolutely. We are called now to bring forth our gifts and to restore the planet, stabilize it and maintain it for the benefit of all life. Look how beautiful the planet is behind me, right? That's planet Earth. Wouldn't you rather heal this and clean it up and make this a livable planet than go off to Mars where there is no blue water?
Yeah.
So think about that, which is what this chapter is all about.
So as we wrap up the chapter, is there any final message you'd like to share with our audience?
Please remember that self-transformation, getting ourselves healthier, is the foundation of all systems transformation. The two go hand in hand. So it's a system in which each one of us is going to get healthier, because as we get healthier, we make the planet healthier. So I look forward to joining you on this journey.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Rao, and thank you all for joining us for episode 22. Next episode is extremely fascinating. It's one I hope everyone joins us for, and that is chapter 23, Busting the Protein Myth. So thank you all for joining us today, and we hope you join us again soon. Bye.
This has been a podcast from Planet B, where animals aren't resources, just neighbors. If you haven't moved here yet, we thank you for visiting.
Any discussions? Go ahead, Jenny.
Thanks. I was just hoping that maybe you could expand a little more on what the American College of Lifestyle Medicine is. Like,
Oh,
is it like you become a doctor and then you kind of join like a professional organization and it's kind of like a continuing education credit thing or is it like a college or um yeah,
yeah.
just wondering to learn more about it.
So American College of Lifestyle Medicine was founded like in the early 2000s by Dr. McDougall and Dr. Michael Greger, and some of these plant-based doctors.
Mm.
And they said we need to create a college that focuses on helping people get well by changing their lifestyle. Okay, and formalize that kind of study. So they have a certification program, so you can become a diplomate in lifestyle medicine.
Oh,
And so, so after you get your medical degree, you can go get certified as a lifestyle medicine doctor.
oh, nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they have courses you have to take. And actually those courses, they're offering 2 of those courses for free to every
Oh,
doctor, the basic stuff, right?
oh,
Everyone can
nice.
take those for free. But then, to get certification, you have to take 10 other courses or something like that. So you have to pay for that.
Okay.
And um, so they have a database of tens of thousands of doctors who have gotten certified as lifestyle medicine doctors. And you
Cool.
can go to their website and you can type in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
zip code, and it will tell you which doctors in your neighborhood are certified in
Oh,
lifestyle medicine.
oh, I really like that. Okay, so like the target audience is people that went to medical school, and this is kind of
Correct.
like a subcategory, like
Correct.
specialization, I guess. Oh, nice.
Correct.
Cool.
Just like cardiology, any of those
Yeah, yeah.
things.
Mm.
But this is not done in medical schools. I think
Mm.
some medical schools are now offering these courses. I know that some medical schools in India are offering these courses, lifestyle
Yeah.
medicine courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like just a general question to the group, if anyone is currently seeing a doctor with one of these certifications, I'd be kind of curious on how you like it. But I think I would maybe go to the website and just see who's in my neighborhood. So
Yeah.
be kind of
Not
cool.
only can you do them, do that in your neighborhood, look for one in your neighborhood, you can also get consultation online with
Oh,
lifestyle medicine
nice.
doctors.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Um,
okay.
I'm going to compile a list of all those and put it in my guide.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
I'm
cool.
working on the guide. Yeah.
Um, and then I have like one more question. So you mentioned like your plank challenge, like
Mm.
can you maybe share just like your journey, like out of the gate, did you start with like 3 minutes or do you like work up by like 30 seconds or were you just like,
Yeah,
nope, I'm
yeah.
gonna go for 6 minutes and
No.
that's it?
Good question. What happened to me was I fainted in a restaurant.
Oh,
So 3 years ago now, and I was out for 10 minutes.
oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, and so when I came back, um, they had already called the ambulance. The ambulance was there, and my granddaughter was screaming. She thought I had passed away, and my son was dabbing my head with a wet cloth. And then I said, actually, I feel fine. Right? I had eaten something that put me in that state
Oh.
in the restaurant. But then I wrote about it. I went, I had to go to the emergency room anyway,
Mm-hmm.
even though I said I'm fine. And then they did all these tests and they told me to go see a cardiologist.
Oh,
So I wrote about it in a blog, in the next newsletter. And Dr. McDougall called me. He was alive at that time. And so Dr. McDougall said, I'm going to make you an offer that you cannot refuse. You're going to take my course for free.
oh, nice.
Yeah. Normally it costs like $3,000 to take his course. So he said, I'm going to offer it to you for free. And, hopefully it'll give you a few extra years on your life.
Mm.
So I did. I took his course.
Oh,
It was a 12-day course. And during the course, Jeff Palmer is the person who teaches you how to be physically fit, right, in the course. And he said, start a plank
okay.
and do it for as long as you can. And I had to report I can do 30 seconds.
Okay.
This is 3 years ago, right? It's not that long ago. 30 seconds I could do a plank. I could hold it for 30 seconds. And then he said, do it every day and add 5 seconds every week.
Oh, okay.
So I was doing it every day, and every day, every week I would add 5 seconds. And by the time a year passed by, I was at like 5 minutes, So,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
then because you do the math, right? You'll be at 5 minutes.
Mm.
And then I got to like 6 minutes and I said, okay, I'm gonna stop because I can keep going.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
So now
Oh,
I do it as a
fascinating.
matter of course. To every
Yeah.
day I do the 6-minute plank because I realized there was, it had this tremendous benefits, building my core strength and maintaining my health.
Mm.
So that's the journey of, it only takes a year. If you do
Okay.
5 seconds a week. Okay. Now you could do like, 2 seconds a day or 5 seconds a day, and you'll get there very fast, because your
Mm.
body knows, so I have to do, okay, 5 more seconds. Okay. Because it knows it did it before, right? So it knows it can do
Yeah,
that.
like you're kind of like conditioning it, like it
Correct.
knows. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how you do it.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing.
My pleasure. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you. That's a beautiful session, and it's one that I'm continuing to work on, my self improvement. I heard about asanas when I was in my 20s, and I didn't keep doing them.
Mhm.
But I wanted to say to Jenny, I did have a lifestyle medicine doctor, and she was fantastic. I just gave her the records from my doctor, and then she helped me tremendously. Very loving person. The question is if you can make a little more clear the connection between healthy people and healthy planet, because I'm picturing uh, many of us are doing a lot, but we're not as healthy as we could be, like
Mhm.
me. Um, but we're really, it feels like we're making a difference here. And then you have people who are doing asanas daily, going to yogas all the time. They're healthy, they look healthy, and maybe they're still doing some eating meat or
Mhm.
maybe even smoking. I don't know, but so how it makes sense that they're connected, but I don't know how you connect them. The healthy people and a healthy planet.
Okay. Um, you have a system. I mean, basically, the planet's natural state is to be healthy.
Okay.
Okay? Our natural state is to be healthy.
Okay.
Okay. Now we have a system, a human engineered system, that is promoting diseases in us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's causing the planet also to be unhealthy. Okay? So it's causing diseases in us, and it is pushing the life support systems of the planet beyond. So all these transgressions are happening because of that, right? So now, for you to become healthy, you have to start questioning some of these truisms that you're told, these myths that you're told.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because otherwise, you won't be healthy. You're going to go along with the standard American diet, and you're going to have diabetes. You're going to have heart disease. You have a path that's designed for you in the system.
Mm-hmm.
That eventually, when you're really, really sick, you're going to take all your money and give it to those people. You say, okay, here, take everything I have and just keep me alive, right? So that's the intent, is to get all the money out of you. So then, when as you become healthy, you start questioning the fundamentals. And when you start questioning the fundamentals, you'll begin to see that the entire system is built on these false myths. Václav Havel, in his essay called The Power of the Powerless, the title of the essay, Power of the Powerless, he talked about the power that you have as an individual to make a huge system change. And so how do you do that? He said, the totalitarian states that he was in Czechoslovakia at that time, they tell you, workers of the world unite. You have to put that sign out on your shop window every morning. So everybody does that. They don't believe that the workers of the world have to unite. Where would they unite? How is this going to happen? But they say we have to put it out because the government told you to do it. Okay?
Hmm.
So everybody's putting that sign out, even though they don't believe it. But then, at some point, someone says, I'm sick of this. I'm not going to do that. And, it's not that there is a military coming and enforcing that you put the sign out, but everybody does it because everybody else is doing it. And, you want to just comply with it, not get into trouble, go along to get along, so you do these things. Now, we do things like that, and this is how we get sick. Okay? Everybody is eating only vegetables that don't, everybody buys only vegetables that don't have holes in them. So we buy that. And then we get poisoned vegetables because the worms don't want to eat the vegetables. Right?
Right.
Everybody thinks that protein is only found in meat, and they're eating meat. Where's your protein? They say, where's your protein? And they're eating the meat. And you all say, okay, I'll go along with that. Even though you know that elephants are getting so big by eating just plants. So slowly we change our mindset to go along with the flow. Okay? And that's how the system pushes us in that direction of diseases, more diseases. Now, how do you break that? He said, the shopkeepers, the totalitarian states collapsed when enough shopkeepers said, I'm not putting that sign up. I don't care about the workers of the world uniting anymore. Right? So we have, it's you don't realize how much power you have by not putting the sign out, not complying with what they're saying, doing the opposite of what they're saying. Okay? When you do that, you give courage to others to do that. And slowly, the whole system collapses because its myths are being shattered.
Right.
Okay? So you have tremendous power, even though you're powerless, by not complying with what you know to be untrue.
Right. Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
So because it has to be, you have to align yourself with the truth, because only then will others will say, I know that too. I know that's true as well. And they'll come along. If you try to create another myth, they may not come along with you.
Mhm.
Right?
Needs
So
to be.
when you reject what you know to be untrue, what you know insults your soul, that's when you exercise your power. And you become tremendously powerful because others will follow you. And they will say, yes, you're right. That's all. That's untrue as well. And then the myths shatter in the system. Okay.
Wow.
Now, this Mark Carney did that, in Davos recently, the Prime Minister of Canada.
Oh, okay.
He used this story of Václav Havel's story, this essay. And he said, we have all been putting out the sign saying, America is a benevolent power that's going to protect all of us. And he says, I am no longer putting that sign out.
Wow. Right. That's good. The non-compliance.
The non-compliance, and saying, okay, I'm going to go talk to others and figure out what to do. So, I mean, this could be the drums of war that's being beaten to now, but at the same time, I say it gives me a lesson, it's saying that's how you change. Don't go with the flow when you know it is not true.
Right.
Okay, so be true to your soul. And I mean, I was reading actually Dr. Faraz Harsini's newsletter, and he wrote about his mother and how every woman in Iran has to put on the hijab, even though his mother doesn't want to. She said she's not religious. She doesn't want to do it. But she's forced to. If she doesn't do it, they come and beat her, right? They throw her in jail and beat her. So that's when you put the hijab on, it's a sign of compliance with the system. Saying, I know you're oppressing me, but I'll go along to get along, right? So what will it take to overcome that? Now what's happening is there are women not putting down, they're protesting.
Right.
And they have other men protecting them, right? So it's driving the regime crazy. Anyway, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Now you know you're powerful.
Yes. Thank you, Sailesh.
Sunny. Sai.
I think Joy had a question. Can probably ask.
Josie, yeah,
I think Sunny was before me. I think
correct.
he
Yeah.
raised his hand, then lowered it. So Sunny, I'll
Oh,
let you
okay.
go first. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, uh, first of all, thanks, Rebecca. I was going to ask the same question. So, uh, I was just wondering that there's a lot of money put into the current system, right? For the current medicine, to create diseases. There's a lot of
Right,
infrastructure built around it to treat
right,
diseases, to the surgeries and all.
right,
So, to break that system, how is it possible? There's growth inbuilt in that system, right?
right.
Mm,
Yeah, everything
yeah,
is about growth. Yeah,
yeah. They have to grow the hospitals. They have to. So since there's a lot of money invested in it, they have to
Mhm.
get that back. So how can we break that with this lifestyle medicine? Is what I was just wondering.
Well, lifestyle medicine is basically saying, do you want to participate in that? It's asking the consumer, do you want to participate in yourself getting sicker and sicker and then getting, $100,000 operation, or do you want to get better with just eating the right foods and doing the right things? And
And
it's a
and that's
choice you make.
promoted and that's promoted by the new inverted pyramid
Correct, correct.
diet which you mentioned. I just looked it
Right,
up recently.
right. Unfortunately, fortunately, people now are no longer buying what they're told. Okay. The credibility of institutions is at an all-time low. Okay. So even though they force schools to implement the inverted pyramid, they'll force all that. Okay, uh, but there are individuals, families are no longer buying this kind of nonsense, right? And doctors are suing the HHS. The PCRM is suing Health and Human Services for its corrupt process by which it came up with the inverted pyramid. So there is opposition now happening to being lied to like that, you know. So keep at it, we have to keep at it. We have to keep doing what we know is right and shine our light, and people then will find the courage to join you. Okay. And eventually the system will crack. I guarantee to you, because there's no choice but to do that. What Dr. Michael Clapper is doing is he's going to medical colleges. He's getting medical students to invite him to come and give talks. And he gives talks to them saying, is this why you joined medical school? To make people sick and to fix their sickness, to paper over their sickness with drugs? Or did you join medical school to heal people? If you really want to heal people, I can show you how. Right? And it's incredibly powerful, because most people become doctors because they want to heal people, not just to make money. I'm sure there are some who want to make money and do that, but a lot of people are doing it just to heal, because they want to heal people. People become vets because they love animals, and they're taught how to abuse animals in vet school, and they rebel against that. So I'm sure there's a similar kind of movement happening among veterinarians. People are saying, is this why you joined vet school? No, you joined vet school because you love animals. You want to heal them, not how to kill them, how to stun them. And this is what they're being taught. And so that's because the animal agriculture industry its tentacles are everywhere. Right? And it's trying to keep us stay in the farm, don't get out. And you can walk out of the farm any time by just choosing the right food and doing these 8 things. And it's not expensive or anything like that. I mean, yoga, it's your own body you're using. You don't need to go to the gym, you don't need a membership, nothing. right?
Yeah.
So get well. Say it's our responsibility. I say if you want to leave the best legacy for your children, also get well,
Yes.
because your
So
your
there's a
children
backlash.
don't want to at least at my age, right? The children don't want to be sitting there nursing an old dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to add one point. I don't know if you've noticed the document with the inverter pyramid. So it's quite crazy that they said vegans should eat dairy, meat, and eggs. They wrote it. I don't know if you have read the document. In the last, there's a
I
small section for vegetarians, and they club vegetarians and vegans. And they wrote a lot of things which first this is the most shocking thing, that they should eat dairy, meat, and eggs. And then they also wrote a long list of nutrients which vegans are deficient in.
I see.
You might want to look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, they should read the latest 2025 paper from the American Dietetic Association. It says it's perfectly adequate for all. Of course, you have to, you have to make sure that you get all the nutrients, and you have to do that for any diet. Okay.
Yeah.
Saying vegans what does that mean? Which vegans are you talking about? What food were they eating? You just take a couple of random vegans and test them and say, okay, you're deficient in these things. Is that what they did? Did they even do that? I mean, do they know that 95% of Americans are deficient in fiber? What in the hell is this Health and Human Services doing about that? Okay? This is documented stuff. So it's garbage. This is just complete nonsense. So this system is so corrupt. The government is so corrupt. Apparently, President Trump made like $1.4 billion last year. How did he do that on his salary? Do we need any more evidence? But this is utterly corrupt. So we just have to say, this is done. We are done with this system. We have to figure out how to create systems that work. And that's the guide I'm writing now. Barb?
Well, I'm just going to ask, did you want me before, is it Joji? Because
Joji is back. Okay, Joji, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I'm going to mute.
Thanks, Barb. Yeah, great speech by Mark Carney, right? At Davos. Very, very powerful, courageous speech, and good response to the Q&A session afterwards too. And Mike Clapper, Michael Clapper, that is Dr. Michael Clapper. I was trying to think of his name when I read chapter 22, today's chapter, and I couldn't quite recall his name. So thanks for mentioning that. And I read somewhere that he actually goes around the medical colleges asking them to change their curriculum, to make it more nutrition based, the curriculum. Yeah, Michael yeah.
Michael Clapper, yeah, he does that.
Yeah.
Joji,
yeah,
as you're an engineer, right? I know I'm an engineer, and we have to go to engineering colleges and do exactly what Dr. Michael Clapper is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to, man. Look at it. We have created over 350,000 different chemicals in our engineering processes.
Mm-hmm.
And we are pouring it into the environment, and it's marinating the earth. We are responsible for that, So I'm going to be talking to the Institute for Chemical Technology on Tuesday, and I'm going to be telling them, you have to change your curriculum. You cannot teach students the same thing again. Because the earth is marinating in it. We know that it's a high-risk transgression. It's rated as one of the 2 high-risk transgressions.
Yeah.
Meaning high risk of destabilizing the life support systems. I mean, you have only one Earth. When you destabilize the life support system, the Earth is going to literally die, right? That's what destabilizing means.
Mm.
So it's urgent that we address the curriculum in engineering schools. Fortunately, IITM has now invited me to come and speak, so I'm going to go
No,
talk
they
to them
did.
too.
Okay.
On the
Yeah.
10th of February.
Okay.
I'm going to be telling them too. We need a crash program for changing the curriculum in every engineering institution
Mm.
worldwide. Okay? Because we cannot keep churning out new engineers who are repeating the same mistakes.
Yeah, but I wonder if engineers have the power to get well, we can talk to engineers certainly, but in terms of determining the curriculum and what they learn and what they teach, it's the powers that be, right? It goes higher up, and ultimately it's probably the corporations um, who fund the research as to what should be done to address this particular issue or that particular issue, how to grow crops better, genetically modify them, or come up with better, more powerful Roundup or whatever it is, right? So I think we got to pull the right levers, and I think they are probably higher up than engineers, certainly. And I don't know how successful Michael Clapper has been. I know he goes around and talking to them, but if Michael Greger, he's an older doctor too, Michael Greger, right? Nutritionfacts.org. He said the sum total of nutrition-based subjects he learned in medical school was 4 weeks. Right? They don't teach nutrition-based health. They teach curing diseases.
Correct.
So I think the levers to pull are somewhere higher up than the actual engineers and doctors, because engineers are essentially, more sophisticated technicians, if I may put it that way. I mean, when they're given marching orders, they'll march.
Right. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
But I am asking, where is the equivalent American College of Lifestyle Engineering?
Right.
Where is the equivalent Indian College of Lifestyle Engineering?
Mm-hmm.
Where is the equivalent of Michael Greger? Because we need it.
Yeah.
So I want to start that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to start a study group. In fact, I want to invite engineers for a conference to just discuss these things. Okay? Because
I think
we are 2 decades behind the medical professionals. They did their conference like that in the early 2000s, where Dr. McDougall said, "Okay, we have to start a college of lifestyle medicine." Because if the current medical colleges are ignoring us. Same here, right? I mean, I'm going to go talk to these institutions and see if they would how they would respond to this. And if they say no, I'm saying we have to start our own college of lifestyle engineering. It's urgent. Right. It's urgent.
Makes sense.
Even if it's an online course that we have to give people, we can create these online courses. We now have the technology to do this and disseminate the correct information to people. Right? And create certification programs and all that. We can do that. In fact, our classmates can do this. We have retiring deans, we have retiring
DAs, but our classmates are an interesting group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there could be a whole lot more traction. So
correct. Yeah. There could be a whole lot more traction, but they are still like a shopkeeper putting out the sign. They're still putting out the sign. Going with the flow. And I'm saying you cannot keep doing that. You have to start thinking about what are we leaving behind.
Yeah. But even if we look at their own lifestyle, right? I mean, most of them are born vegetarians. So the only sort of thing they have to overcome is just this little thing called dairy. But they're entrenched,
Yeah.
right? Anyway, I had another question, which is more of sort of a comment, that it's about yesterday's Sustainable Development Goals. And today morning, I woke up thinking that sustainable development is an oxymoron, and I Googled it. Right? Is sustainable development an oxymoron? And a lot of links came up where people are arguing. Some people say it is an oxymoron. You cannot have sustainable development, but some people say you can have it within uh, certain contexts with specific guidelines and things like that.
Right.
And then I looked at the goals themselves. Number one is no poverty, and I was thinking about what do you do? How do you develop that goal once you have satisfied it, right? Once you have no poverty, and if you want to develop it further, I mean, immediately it comes in, oh, you have to raise everybody's standard of living, right?
Mhm.
And
No,
that's
no.
how that goal number 8 kind of comes in. You got to have decent work and economic growth. So I was thinking maybe these goals need to be simplified, or the name has to be simplified and just make it sustainable goals, right? Just a thought, yeah.
Look up the work of Manfred Max Neef. I'll put his name
Manfred,
in the chat.
okay.
Manfred Max Neef. I'll put his name in the chat. He's a Chilean economist.
Mhm.
And he talks about the difference between growth and development.
Mm.
Okay, he distinguishes between the two. And I think you are confusing development with growth.
Mm.
And he believes that we need development and not growth. So he wrote a whole book on that. I don't remember the name of the book, but look him up.
Yeah.
I referred to him when I did my research for carbon yoga. I was reading his work.
Yeah. I understand sustainable development could be interpreted in two different ways. One is about, developing practices that will build the sustainable end goals. That's
Right.
one way of looking at it. The other could be, and this would be the more layman interpretation, is what I think is to say, that there is inherent development built into these goals, right? Because once you, for example, no poverty or zero hunger, once you hit those goals, it's like, what do you do next, right?
You sustain it. You have to sustain it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maintain
So I
it,
think, in my opinion, sustainable goals should do it.
That's right. You're right. You don't
Yeah.
really need to put the development, but
Put the development.
I think they put the development to get all the poor countries on board. Because they're not saying, hey, we need more stuff.
Yeah. And one more quick thing, since you mentioned Dr. McDougall, did he change your diet a whole lot? I heard that he is very carbohydrate centric, right?
Correct. Yeah.
He says he eat a lot of rice and potatoes and things like that.
Yeah, brown rice and potatoes. Now, I mean, basically, even Dr. Douglas Graham says the same thing. He says 80% carbs, 10% protein, 10% fat, 80-10-10 diet. And Dr. McDougall is the starch-based diet. And basically, he said, whole food, plant-based. And I was doing that. See, what happened to me was I was going towards a whole food plant-based. I had become more and more whole food plant-based. Then I went to this restaurant and I got tempted by chana bhatura. Right? And I said, okay, I'm only eating once in a while. So what's the big deal? So and I've eaten it before, right? So I said, let me have a chana bhatura. And I did. And it was so oily that my body said, Mayday, Mayday. I don't know how to deal with this. And it put me to sleep. It knocked me out for 10 minutes just to deal with that. That's really what happened.
Okay. This is an interesting one. How can chana bhatura knock somebody out?
It did.
All right.
And I felt better after I think maybe 2-3 hours later, I was in the hospital and I had to go to the bathroom and then I felt better because I had diarrhea. I just got rid of it completely. So since then I know that don't get tempted because this is not you're putting the wrong fuel in your body.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like saying, okay, I think today I'm going to put diesel in the car. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But chana bhatura, it's a staple of.
No, you can make it without oil. Okay, so and it's easy to make it without oil too.
Yeah.
People have figured out how to make it without oil.
Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure. Barb?
Well, hello this evening. I have been listening, and with this topic of health and all of that, I was just kind of like seeing it in terms of myself and going, I could definitely use more sleep and all of that, but I wasn't really getting the whole picture. And then something in the discussion, when you were talking in this discussion area, I actually went, light bulb moment. It was like, it's not just for us or fellow vegans. It's like, this health that we start spreading to other people, then the meat eaters, they'll start, making some little improvements, noticing us, trying little things, and then their lives will change. Their goals might change. It's like that was the part where I went, oh, wait a minute, this was spread, and they'll start understanding what we're going towards. So that was one thing. I've got like 3 things, but they're pretty quick here. The other thing, I just heard about the carbs with Dr. McDougall. I will say that the 80 or 85% carbs or whatever he wants, that includes fruits and vegetables. And so some people hear that and they think, what, you're going to eat, bread and pasta and all, but yeah, it includes that. So the other thing was, when we talk about that food pyramid, Dr. Matthew Nagra, or I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he has just gone through and told why vegans are not deficient in an awful lot of those things, and he did a really good job of that.
Awesome.
He's on Instagram, I think. And then what it shows, what it reminds me of with how they keep sticking meat and everything, and they stick dairy and everything and all of that, is how they kept, like how they made pizza with cheese and then cheese in the crust. It's like, they stick it everywhere they can.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So let me see if I covered all of my things. I think so. Yeah, I covered everything that I was thinking about. I didn't think I'd be talking tonight, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, I do have things to say. Always in the discussion.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barb. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And please come back tomorrow for next. It will be about the protein myth. See you again soon.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
The house is burning, but we're still sitting in the glow. Phones charged, lights on, pretending we don't know. But the forest is silent, the river's running low, and the flame on our plates is the strongest fire we throw. Put out the fire, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. 7 boundaries broken, the earth pushed past the line. Climate, land, species, fresh water, chemicals, nutrients, oceans in decline. Not danger, disaster in real time. Put out the fire. is not just milk. Dairy feeds the flame. Cows and methane. Fields and forests turn to grain. Politics, culture, carbon, all wired to the same chain. Every cup of curd is heat in the air. Every block of butter is a forest strip bare. It's not a small habit, it's a planetary affair. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is our hour. Energy fixes half the hurt, Dr. Rao made that clear. But food fixes the other half, the half that's burning here. Change the plate, change the land, change the future's atmosphere. Put out the fire. Put out the fire. Metafoodians unite, this is your choir. Every millet, every fruit, every sapseed, every bean is water on the wildfire of a world we've never seen. Every oil-free bite is a river turning clean. This is not perfection, it's direction. Not pressure, but protection. A week of choices can cool a generation. A company's courage can ignite a nation. Put out the fire. Ooh, put out the fire. Echoes and rise, this is your hour. Metafoodians unite, Metafoodians ignite, sharing love in the metazone, light in the path to a cooler home. Put out the fire. Ooh, put out the fire. Together we rise, together we inspire.